Are you an amateur woodworker? Maybe just getting started like me? Well, this channel's for you. But I'd like to show you kind of my process over the last 2 years of things I have done, things I have done wrong, things I've done okay, and where I'm trying to get to in the future. So with that, let's go. So hi, I'm Jim. Like I said, this is my YouTube channel around beginning woodworking, and I want to share with you some of the projects I have done so far, some of my purchases I've got, and a little bit of explanation about why I have bought them. So let's get to it. So the first build I had was this particular table, and I actually have 2 of them, and I use them all the time. They are a great tool to have in place. It's one of your first tools you should look at getting, or at least building yourself. It was a very simple build. This one is 2x4 framing with MDF tops and bottoms. So here are the benches I built. They are very easy to do. A buddy of mine, Sean, gave me the idea of how to do these, and I was able to construct them really easily. So they're basically just 2x4s with MDF tops, and I do have casters on the bottom. They're locking casters such that I can move them around here in my shop. And the bottom parts, it's just being a collection point for all my cutoffs at this point in time. So I really like these. I've had them around for a while. They've been very useful. Some things I'm going to do in the future for this to improve it is probably do some kind of drawers or something on there and not necessarily have it as my cutoff location as it is today. So this is a few things with it that I have, and I really like having these, and I've had them for a while, so they've been very good. So what tools did I need to build these benches? This is it. So I had a circular saw for cutting all my boards into the right pieces and everything else. I had a straight edge. This is a level I had, but I used it primarily as my straight edge. And then I had, of course, a tape measure to be able to measure everything out. And then just a cordless drill that I used as a screwdriver to screw all of the screws inside of it. So that was really all it required for me to be able to do this build. So my next build, or one of the next builds I did, was this particular storage system for my wood. So all of my main big cutoffs are stored in here, and other things as well. But this is really nice. It's on casters, so I can move it around if I need to, things of that nature. So you'll see here in shortly all of the tools I built for my shop. All the benches and whatnot are all on casters. Very essential when you're building in your garage, which is what I'm doing, so you can move things around. But this is one of my next builds right here, and it works very well. And I've had this for a couple of years, and it's just very simple 2x4 and a bunch of screws, and that's it. That's all I needed. And again, it's on casters on the bottom. So this was my first big purchase for my shop, this DeWalt table saw. I use it a lot. It is very good at ripping down plywood, things of that nature, and just getting things into the right sizes that you need to do for other things. However, I will tell you, if you're getting your first table saw, please go out and get some safety instructions. There's a ton of YouTube videos out there on safety. So please go out there and get your safety instructions first before you actually try to start using your table saw. This particular saw sometimes is known as a job site saw. It came with a little cart that you can roll it around for like a job site. That wasn't mobile enough for me, so I actually built this little cart down below. So here's the cart that I built. And just like the other things, it's also on casters, so it may move around in my shop however I need to. The one other thing I wanted to show you is when I built this cart for my table saw, as far as the height of it, I wanted to make sure that the height of it was good for my workbench. And what happens is my workbench becomes my outfeed table. And it's really good. I had to make the measurements such that the outfeed would go straight out. So the actual workbench is just a little bit lower than the top of my table saw so that the wood doesn't get caught coming out and it goes straight across. It's essential to have an outfeed table for a table saw. You really don't want to have wood going across and then just falling off. That can be very dangerous coming off of this particular blade. So you want to be very careful with that. But this has worked very well for me, and I use this in pretty much every project I have. So this is the next essential piece of equipment you need to have in your shop, and that is a dust collection system. My first one was just a cyclone I bought online, and I attached it to a paint can lid, and then put that on top of the paint can that I had cleaned out and emptied out. And that was my dust collection. And it actually worked very well. It wasn't mobile enough for me in my shop as I began to grow and add other equipment that I had on casters moving around. So I needed something a little more mobile. So I went out and upgraded to this particular Cyclone model. I put it on top of a rigid shop vac that has a HEPA filter in it. So trying to keep all the fine particles down as much as possible. But this works very well. It's very mobile. It's on casters as well. And just keep that in mind if you're in a workshop like mine, which is basically my garage, and you need to have things mobile to move around. Make sure you build your items with casters or wheels of some kind. Just make them kind of move around. Just makes it much easier. My next two pieces of equipment I purchased was a DeWalt planer and a rigid sander. Now, when I purchased these, I knew what I wanted in my shop, which was this flip top bench system. So I actually got plans for these online, so I'll have a link down below to these plans. But it is very nice. It's very space saving. So basically what happens is I move the items away, the lockdown brackets, and then I just flip it over. And now my planer station has become a sander station. There's a lot of plans online for this particular flip top bench system. So I'll have a link down below to the one I used. You can go find whatever works for you. It's essential for me because my shop is small. I'm in my garage, so I need some kind of space savings for these pieces of equipment, and this worked very well. I've considered building a second one, but I don't have any other equipment yet that I'm going to have to be able to put on one of these flip top benches. My last piece of equipment I purchased, actually it was a birthday present, was this particular miter saw. And when I bought this miter saw, I also had full intentions of building this miter saw station. I will have links down below to two different plans that I used. I modified it a little bit to my needs. However, there's enough of these plans out there you can find what works for you. It's really good because it's also a big space saver. It's also on casters like everything else, locking casters. However, for space savings, the really nice thing is these wings fold down. So then it becomes much more manageable in my garage. So a real essential tool for anybody's shop. And this type of system is really nice to be able to have space savings in your shop or in your garage like I am. So let's talk about safety items. So let's start with the ear protection. You need ear protection whenever you're using any power tool in your shop. They produce a heavy amount of noise, high decibels. You really need to make sure you're protecting your ears. Next would be some type of eye protection. Either some kind of glasses that you would put on. These work well. They actually fit right over my prescription glasses. Or I've seen these goggles that a lot of people use of this nature, and it puts even more protection around your eyes. Either one of these are good. I recommend these if you have glasses that you wear. These are really well. They fit right over my glasses, and they have a good fit around my face. So I recommend these. The next item you need to have is a dust mask. So cutting things like MDF. MDF is a treated piece of wood. The way it works, it's glued, kind of glued together. You don't want to get those fibers into your lungs. You really need to have a dust mask, even if you have a good dust collection system. You need to be wearing a mask at any time you're working with any of these wood products. It's just the best thing to do to keep you safe and keep you healthy. So with that, that's this first video. If you found it interesting, if you found it valuable or entertaining for you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next video.